everyone. My name is Brian Knight. I am a certified weight loss coach, and I help busy dads to lose weight so they could feel amazing and to go from surviving to thriving. So, today I wanted to talk to you about 5 ways to reduce carbs. This is something that's coming up in the clients that in a lot of my clients and new clients that I'm talking to. So this is a big area that a lot of people struggle with, and it's not that I'm not an advocate of having no carbs, but a lot of people have too many, and then that's why they struggle with weight loss, and they need ways to reduce the amount. But this is not a video about having no carb. It's about being able to reduce the carbs in your life and to sustain that and making that something that you can do long term. So a lot of my clients are saying, but I love them. I can't stop them. So today I wanted to share with you 5 different ways that you can reduce the carbohydrates that you're consuming. I mean, we all know there's a high correlation between over consuming carbs. Notice I said over consuming and putting on the extra pounds. Now, some carbs are maybe not as conducive to weight gain as others are. We know like processed versus like real food, that there's a difference there. Um, this is something I struggle with too. I struggle with carbs, and I mean, this is a battle that I have fought every day since I can remember. Back to when I was a kid, and especially as a dad, with kids that want sweets and to have them around and different things like that. So that leads me to my first point. My first thing is don't buy them. Well, let's stick with that. So don't buy them. You might could have a little bit in there, but having tons of carbohydrates, tons of sugar in your cupboard and around your house and everything is a recipe for consuming a lot of them. Because when you have those moments where I'm hungry, I just want something to munch on, and it's late at night and you're watching a Netflix movie, and it's so easy to go in that cupboard and just grab a bag of candy or something like that. So my first suggestion is, if you do the grocery shopping like I do for my household, or communicate that with your wife. Let her know, hey, I'm trying to reduce my carbohydrate intake or my sugar intake. Can you not buy these foods at the store? And there's a good chance that they'll, your spouse will want you to be successful, and that she will support you and she will follow your leadership. So my first suggestion is don't buy them, or buy very little. Know the sources. What is a carbohydrate? I think most people know that bread is a carbohydrate, so you want to minimize that. There's a lot of other processed food, things that come in boxes, cereal. That has tons of carbohydrate and hidden sugars. Know that it's not only just candy or chocolate. Know that it's those other things that have carbohydrates in them too, and they are inhibiting you from losing weight. So, what do you have for breakfast? Sausage, eggs, bacon, avocado with salt. You name it. There's tons of things. Some, different types of meat with cheese. There's so many different combinations. My next one is you want to stay full. So, staying full, what do I mean by that? Well, when when you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, especially like processed carbohydrates, and you're not getting a lot of protein and fat in your diet, you have a blood sugar that looks like this. It's going up and down, up and down. So you're having highs, which you really don't want from a pre-diabetes standpoint. That's a whole nother video. We'll cover that soon. So, but when your blood sugar goes up from this quick blood sugar rush, then you have a crash, and it happens quick, and it may not be convenient. You may be out, you may be busy, and when that happens, you're going to go for the quickest thing, whether that's a gas station or whatever, to get that blood sugar up, or a fast food restaurant. And for weight loss success, we don't want that. We want you to have control over your appetite, and that gets to over here where the blood sugar is very stable, and that's by consuming uh, foods like red meat, like bison, elk, lamb, having some high fat dairy in there, and a number of other foods, eggs. Um, that will help keep your blood sugar stable, and you won't have these crashes. So you can mix foods like what I just mentioned with a little bit of carbohydrates in there, and that will help you to have a more stable blood sugar. My next thing I want to get to is meal prep. Why is meal prep so important? Because when you make the meal ahead of time, you make the decision ahead of time. And that's key, because if you have the meal already ready for you, I don't know about you guys, but I like having my meals ready. It's one of the things I don't have to worry about. When I'm at work and I'm busy, and I can just take the meal out of my lunch box and heat it up or whatever, that's one less thing I have to worry about. And that's usually what I stick with. I'm not going to go get something else. I make sure I like the meal, but I prepare it ahead of time. That way, when I'm hungry, I'm not trying to decide what I want to eat, which is more likely to be something that's not healthy or good for me. So that's why meal prep is so crucial. And I'm going to be doing a video soon to show you how to make meal prep super fast, super easy for busy dads. Stay tuned for that. So you make the decision ahead of time. Also, you can keep snacks on hand like beef jerky, beef sticks. You can have even cheese sticks. Let's see, what's some other things? You can have a little bit of dried fruit. You don't want to snack on that too much, but keeping a little bit around will help out. There was something else that was come to my mind. Fruit. You can have some pork rinds. That's another great thing to have. That's like a low carb snack. But don't do it in your car because it's very crumbly and you'll have to clean that up. So usually beef jerky works really good. It stays a long time, doesn't spoil or anything like that. So another thing is eat before an event. So what does that mean? So if you're going to go out with like friends or you're going to a party or something, eat before you go. That way you're not going there and you're just really, really hungry and there's all this food around that, a lot, you just don't really have control. So you don't want to go with your defenses down. Now, you want to eat like a modest meal so that you can go there and have some appetite and enjoy yourself. But you're not going in there super hungry. So that just gets to, use some filling foods like what I talked about with meat and some high-fat dairy, cheese, maybe some eggs or, different things like that. Butter, coconut oil, different things that you can sprinkle in your food. And that will help you, that'll modify your appetite so that when you go, you can enjoy yourself and not look odd because you're not eating anything, but not so hungry where you're going straight for what you would normally not eat. Next, get support. What do I mean by get support? Well, you can get support in many ways. You can have an accountability partner. That could be your spouse. It could even be your kids. Right now, it's not my kids. They're 4 and 2. They're going to want me to get the sweets, but they are learning what healthy foods are. And you can have a Facebook group. Many of you are a part of my Weight Loss for Dads, Busy Dads. And that's a great place to join with others and to get support when you have obstacles and struggles. Also, your spouse, we mentioned that. A trainer. You can have a personal trainer. They can help you with that. A coach. Um, they can help you, and when you have those mental blocks or those urges come up, a coach can help you to get out of your own way, to help you to set you up with tools to walk through those mental blocks. That's huge. Mindset is just huge on reducing the carb intake. Well, you can check out more at brianjknight.com. You can set up a 30-minute free session with me there. Sign up for a free call, and we can talk about your goals and how you want to get there, what your time frame is, and I can help you get past those mental roadblocks. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great week.